This is Richard Abbott speaking to you again, and the message is, forget the previous message. It's no longer necessary for you to speak to Mr. Reilly on my behalf. I won't go into it now. I'll tell you about it when I see you. However, I will say I just had the most incredibly fortunate experience right here in your office. Over and out.
Oh, Richard. Pat's not back yet?
No, she hasn't called either.
Oh, dear. I'm sure that means she won't come to the office at all then. And I have all kinds of messages and things for her to sign. She's got to proof this copy for tomorrow's column. I tried to call Messenger, but they're all booked for the rest of the day.
Well, it sounds like you're in a bit of a dilemma. I'll tell you what. Since you were so nice and let me use Pat's office, I'll drop all that stuff off at her house later on today.
Oh, would you, Richard? That would solve everything.
You just get it all together and I'll pick it up when I leave.
Okay. In there. But I know, it seems like days since Dr. Reynolds went in there.
We should know within the next half hour which way it's going to go.
All of my love to you and Brian. Always. All. Dear Pat. No. Make that dearest Pat. Because you are dearer to me than anything else in life. And so is Brian. And that's exactly why I'm writing this letter. And then slipping out of town as quickly and quietly as I can. I seem always to be leaving you, but never wanting to, and always carrying you with me in my heart. And that's where you will stay forever. In my heart, but never again in my life. You thought I was dead. Well, go on thinking it. And let Brian go on thinking it. Because for all intents and purposes, I am. Your love for Tony has made me realize your future is obviously with him and not me. It's my own fault this has occurred. By choosing the underground assignment 4 years ago over you and Brian, I in fact forfeited any claim on your emotions and all claim to our happiness. I will regret this for the rest of my life, just as I will cherish the memories of you and Brian for the rest of my life. But that is all you are now, memories. Now that I finally realize that, I can finally accept it. Please be happy, the two of you. All of my love to you and Brian. Always. Up there, I'd like to have a letter delivered in town.
I'm sorry, Mrs. Kendall. We're doing everything for him that we can. Please excuse me.
Viki. Oh, I came as soon as I heard. He's got to make it. He's just got to. I know, and he will. Hello, Cathy. Hello, Viki. Cathy and I've been waiting here together. Well, I'm very glad that someone was with you. I was afraid you might be alone. That's why I came. Cathy, I realize this must be very difficult for you, too. Yes. Well, Viki, now that you're here and there's someone with Pat, I guess I'll be going. I'll try and find Larry. Thank you. Yeah, sure. Bye-bye. Well, I think I ran her off tonight. Well, I guess your being here on top of everything else was just too much for her to take. There's nothing I can do about that, though. Come sit down. That's just right enough. Cathy. It's urgent and personal.
Fine. Have a nice evening, huh?
Good night.
Doctor's almost 5:30. Yes, I know.
Crisis should be over. But it isn't.
It's been 40 minutes. Dr. Reynolds said we'd know in a half an hour.
Yes, I know, but maybe that's good. Maybe
Maybe he's gotten worse.
no.
No. Listen, I want you to believe that no news is good news. I'm trying desperately to believe that. But I'm afraid.
Breathing easier. It's a good sign. It's the first good sign we've had.
Dr. Olive, please. I see. Well, he's at the cafeteria? No, thank you. I'll call back later. Mom? Robin?
Nope. Sorry, it's me.
Oh, who are you?
Richard Abbott. I'm a reporter on the Banner, sort of a friend of your mother's.
Mom's not here right now.
Oh, so I see. You mind if I come in?
Sure.
You must be Pat's son.
Yeah, my name is Brian.
Oh, hi, Brian. I was hoping I'd find your mom here.
Well, she's at the hospital with Tony.
Afraid I don't know Tony.
Oh, he's a good guy. He and my mother were going to get married soon, except he got in a car accident.
Yeah, so I heard. It's really too bad.
Yeah, it is. I wish I could see him, but I can't.
Oh, how come?
Well, hospital rules say that you have to be 14, and I'm only 12.
Right, hospitals do have those rules.
Think I could pass for 14?
Oh, I guess so.
No, I think I could too, but anyway. I hope my mother comes back soon.
Well, I think it's a rough time for her, but I think she can handle it.
Well, I don't know. This guy gets her kind of emotional.
Well, love's like that sometimes.
Sorry we don't have something for you to drink.
Oh, no, thank you. That's all right. I don't think I'll wait for her.
Huh?
Unless you want me to stay here with you.
No, it's all right.
You sure?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I think I'll write her a note. These envelopes for her. Now, the big one has a lot of papers in it from the office. And the other one's a letter just arrived a little while ago.
Cathy. I think it shows you're coming along farther every day.
Given 10 years, maybe I'll even be healthy. Larry, it was so nice to get out of my own head and feel sympathy for somebody else and not hostility. But then Viki came along.
Oh?
I just had the same old feelings of hostility.
Well, Cathy, you're going to find it hard running into her for a long time, but it will ease some.
I doubt that, Larry, because every time I see her, I'll be reminded of how sick I was. and you can believe it. He is going to be just fine. Suddenly I'm so exhausted I can't move. Of course you are. And now since I know they're not going to let you see Tony for quite a while, I'm taking you home. Here's something I'm ready now. Good then. Let's go.
Tomorrow I go to court with the same guy that sued the Banner last year. Now he's suing Dorian. Does he have a case? Not a leg to stand on. Well, that takes care of just about everything. I might even get home in time for dinner tonight. Yeah, I've been so busy lately. My kid ran out on the front lawn this morning as I was leaving the house. He stood up on his head in his pajamas because he hadn't had a chance to show me that he could do it.
Bill,
Yeah.
I don't want to take up your time.
No, go ahead, Joe.
Look, can I call you, make an appointment to see you for a few minutes?
Sure. Anytime.
I want to go over my will. Bring it up to date.
Is anything wrong?
No. Just since Kevin was born, an awful lot of things have become more important.
Having kids will do that to you.
Who knows, I might start jogging any day now.
And eating wheat germ.
Oh, never that.
Now, you call my office tomorrow morning.
Okay, right. Thanks.
Yeah, there's more problems?
No. These kind of cases are cut and dry. Joe just wants to bring his will up to date.
Dorian, why don't you let the man go so we get home for dinner, huh?
Yes, of course.
My wife would be pleased.
Fine, yeah.
Good night.
Good night, Bill.
Good night, Bill.
Bye.
Reports are on the desk there if you want to look at them.
There's time for that later. Joe.
Oh, look. He's going to look over my will, that's all. It's no big deal.
Oh, what are you going to do next? Lay out your best suit?
Come on, Marie. Look at that.
You're convinced that you're developing that brain tumor, aren't you? You know, when Jim said that his raising was a little easier, I think they were the most beautiful words I ever heard in my whole life. Yes, I know. Brian, Mom! Oh, you know that poor thing. I've been in and out of this house so much the last few days. He probably feels like an orphan. Brian? Funny, I didn't know for sure that he'd been over his outside playing. Yeah, that's true. Let's see if he's left a note. Oh? What did he say? I brought the mail over from the office. That was nice of her. What's the matter? Something wrong? I don't know.
Just like things in order, that's all.
You wouldn't be discussing your will if you weren't really afraid. Joe, has anything changed?
Well, the headaches are getting worse. I can tell you that.
That could be because of all the pressure that you're under.
Well, Dorian, I've had headaches before. Never like this. Sometimes I get the feeling the top of my head is going to blow off. Losing my balance lately, too.
Well, that could be because you're overly tired.
No. Something's wrong. Something's happening that I can't control.
You know, if you keep on talking like this, you're going to scare me, too, and then I'll start to believe you. Do you have a Headache now?
Yeah. I'm just sitting here waiting to see how bad this one's going to get.
There's an awful lot of tension here. Your muscles are all tied up in knots. Come on, Joe, I want you to relax. Think about the Mediterranean. See how blue and clear it is. And imagine yourself lying there on that white sand. You know, with muscles and tendons this tight, anyone can develop a headache. Sometimes headaches are just a symptom.
Yes, a brain tumor maybe, huh?
No, of all the pressures that we live under. The traffic jams, the phones that are ringing all the time, and people rushing everywhere. You're just going to have to learn how to take it a little easier. Maybe this tumor that you're imagining is just the stress that you're placing on yourself.
You know, that helps.
Yeah. I didn't realize I was such a good massage.
Now, you're a safety valve for me.
It's good.
Now, well, I can talk to you about it without scaring you to death like I scare myself sometimes.
I'm glad you feel that you can talk to me.
You know, if it weren't for you, I'd be going through this thing alone. And if I had to do that, I'd go bananas.
Pat, is it something to do with Brian? No, I closed my eyes and hit him as hard as I could.
Well, there's not much style there, but it sounds pretty effective.
I like talking to you.
Same here.
So, when are we going to go camping again? Like we did before, you know, when we'd lie in our sleeping bags and just count the stars?
Right, and when we were doing that, the raccoons ate all the food.
Oh, right, I remember. Boy, we're going to have lots of fun together. Mom doesn't know you're back yet, though. I mean, I picked up the letter while she was still at the hospital. I saw your name on the envelope, and I ran here as fast as I could.
Brian.
Let's just get your stuff and go home. Come on, we can surprise her. We'll walk in the door like we used to when we were at the ball game. But I better warn her first, because she's going to start crying. And she usually does that when she's happy.
Brian, I can't go home with you.
Why? You're not going to leave again, are you, Dad?
And when Dr. Reynolds called and said that Tony was worse, well, I got very upset. I see. And Paul didn't want you to drive to the hospital alone, so that's how he came to see you with Tony. Yeah. When I came out of Tony's room, he was standing there waiting for me. I guess seeing me with Tony made him realize how hopeless it all was. I never wanted to hurt Paul. Our marriage never failed. It just stopped. It's all so strange. Well, it certainly is very difficult for the both of you, that's for sure. It's much worse for Paul. Whatever kind of homecoming he was dreaming of, it certainly wasn't this. And it's terrible, you know, because he doesn't deserve it. And now it's too late for me to say goodbye, or I'm sorry, or I wish it turned out differently. Well, why is it too late? Because, I mean, in his letter somewhere, he says that by the time I read it, he'll be gone. Where? I don't know. He doesn't say. He knows. Where do people go when they've lost everything in their life? Their job, their wife, their child. They were all he had. Now he has nothing. And he didn't want to interfere with my happiness. Well, it was a very brave thing that he did. Paul's like that. He always was.
Mom doesn't even know you're here. Don't you want to see her? Don't you love her anymore?
I love her very much, Brian.
Well, then how come you're leaving?
Brian, you and your mother have always meant the world to me. You must understand that.
There's someone else. You've got a new family. So then why did you come here in the first place?
Oh, no one could ever take your place.
All right, then, let's get your stuff and go home. We'll be a family again like we used to be.
Wait a minute now. I want to explain something to you. And you've got to trust me a little bit, okay?
Sure.
All right. I came back here wanting exactly what you're talking about. That we'd be together again, and after a while, it would be as if I had never gone away.
Well, that's right.
No, it isn't. Because I was only thinking of myself, what I wanted and what I needed. And it was selfish of me.
Selfish?
Yeah. It was selfish because after I got back here, I realized that you and your mother had a life of your own. A life without me.
Yes, but now you're back.
Brian, your mother is a very beautiful woman with a great deal to give.
So?
So my staying would mess up her life.
talking about Tony. Well, that's only because she thought you were dead.
Of course it was, and I would have wanted that for her, that she fall in love.
Yeah, but when she finds out you're alive, she'll just tell Tony to forget the whole thing. She won't want to marry him now.
Brian, love isn't like that. You can't just put it on and take it off like an old jacket, shed it in the springtime and get a new one in the fall. And besides, Tony's a human being, too. I'm sure he's been very good to your mother, or she wouldn't love him. And she does love him. I can see it.
You see him?
Yes, I have.
You've seen Mom? How can that be? She was going to let you leave. She was going to let you leave without me knowing that you were here. How could you do that?
You got me so relaxed I could fall asleep.
I'm glad I could help.
Well, I better get home. Viki will be worried. Thank you, Doctor.
Anything else I could do?
Oh, not a thing. You know, if the Banner ever folds, we could set you up in business to cure headaches.
Would you like to be my partner?
Oh, no chance. I'll be your best client, though. See you tomorrow.
Good night.
Good night.
Oh, excuse me, I didn't mean to interrupt
Oh, it's all right. I was just leaving, Markham. Good night.
Good night.
Good evening, Mr. Riley. Dorian, this is for you. A lovely rose for a lovely lady.
How nice.
Ah, you've got that lonely look again. Seems to me you get that every time Joe Riley goes home to his loving wife.
Where do you think I should put this rose? Should I put it in my teeth? Or behind my ear? No. I think I'll put it right here.
You know, I came in to ask if I could get the night off, but now I'm not so sure that I
You
shouldn't.
mean you were going to, leave me all alone in this great big house?
Well, I'd asked Joe Riley to stop by more often. He really gets me turned on.
One simple ground rule. There'll be no discussion about Joe Riley, understand?
Got it. I really don't see what you see in him anyway.
Marco, shut up. Now, why don't you try to make me forget about anyone else? Except the great Marco Dane.
At your service, madame?
It's very nice of you to invite us, Viki. Now if I can just find Brian.
Well, Joe will be delighted to see the both of you. It also means he won't have to listen to me rattle on about every tiny detail in Kevin's life. We'll just have a late dinner, that's all.
Okay, it sounds wonderful, but I doubt that there's even any food in this house. I'm not even sure what day it is. Now let's see. Jimmy's mother didn't call back, so I guess she hasn't found him. I have tried Eric, and Richard, and... maybe he's with a little grand boy. I'll try him. You know something? It really isn't like Brian to just go off without leaving a note or anything.
Pat, will you stop worrying? He's out playing somewhere. He's lost track of the time, that's all.
Yeah, I'm sure you're right. But I just have to keep phoning, you know. Listen, I am sure that I'm going to find him, so why don't you just go on, and I'll be there as soon as he gets home, okay?
Is that a promise?
Yes, it is, and besides, I really don't feel like being alone tonight anyway.
Okay, I'll see you in a little while.
Oh, Viki. Thanks for being with me today. It really helped me to share things.
See you later.
Brian, listen to me.
I'm not going to listen. You're going to tell me you're leaving.
Brian.
I won't let you.
Brian, you're not listening to anything I'm trying to tell you.
I don't understand parents. Just don't understand them at all.
Well, you're not alone, son. Sometimes we don't even understand ourselves.
I'm staying with you, even if I have to sleep on the floors. If you leave town, I'm going with you. Wherever you go, I'm going to be with you.
Brian, listen to me. All the time I was gone, who took care of you?
Mom.
Right. Because she loves you very much.
Yes, but don't you see? She messed up our life. She messed up our family, and I'm going to tell her that. And I'm also going to tell her she can have her Tony.
No, you're not. Now, you're going to calm down first, and we're going to talk about this.
Well, I'm just doing my daily good deed, you know. Bring your coffee, rake the leaves, do your dirty dishes.
Tell me, just what was Brian doing?
I was just hanging out. I started to write you a note, and...
Wait a minute. Did you bring this letter over with you?
Yeah, that came just about the time I was leaving the office. Your secretary thought it might be important, so I brought it over.
Did Brian read this?
Wait, let me think. Well, he was standing right here. Yeah, I think he did. He did. Because I remember I thought it was funny because his mood changed so much.
Oh, my God.
Hey, I'm sorry. I didn't know he shouldn't read that.
No, it's all right. It's not your fault.
Mom, I want to talk to you.
Richard, I think maybe you better go.
Oh, sure, Pat. But if you need anything, you call me, okay?
So long, Brian.
Bye. Don't touch me. I just want to know. Did you know that Daddy was here?
Well, that's been quite a shock for Pat. When did she find out Paul was still alive?
When he walked through the door of her office, right out of nowhere.
Well, sure. Must have scared the hell out of her.
Yes, it did. Hey, I don't know what on earth she's going to do now.
Well, what about the child? What about Brian?
He doesn't know.
He doesn't know his father is still alive? No, that doesn't make any sense.
Well, yes, it makes sense. No, it doesn't make sense.
That doesn't make any sense either. Come on, sweetheart. You can talk to me. You can tell me anything. I'm your husband, remember?
I guess that Pat wouldn't mind if I told you now.
What?
Joe, Paul Kendall is not Brian's real father. Well, you see, Pat was pregnant with Brian when she married Paul. Now, he was fully aware of the situation, but he's not the father.
Well, who is his father?
Believe it or not, Tony Lord is. Yes, Brian, I knew that Paul was back.
Then how come you didn't tell me?
Because I wanted you to find out in the right way.
Oh, that's a lie. You tried to hide it from me. How could you do that when you know how much I love him?
Sweetheart, Paul made the decision to leave Landview himself.
Oh, yeah. And next you'll be telling me he's going to leave Landview so he doesn't come in between you and Tony.
Yes, that's right.
Well, if you want Tony and you don't want my father, then you can't have me.
Brian, don't.
If you marry Tony and you want me to be his son, then I'll just go up and get my clothes and go back to Dad. And there's no way you can stop me either.
Brian. Thank you for not leaving.
You really mean that?
Yes, of course I do. I hate to see my son torn apart.
Please, Pat. I'm sorry.
It's not your fault. It's not your fault that you love him and that he loves you. It's just...
Come on, let's sit down, okay?
He's not Paul, you know that.
Well, maybe not biologically speaking, but from the moment he was born, I've been his father. Pat, in my heart, I know he's my son, and I am his father.
You're right. That's true. And that's why you have to stay.
How is this going to affect you?
Brian comes first. I mean, he's a little boy. He has to grow up with the father that he loves and who loves him. I know that now. You know something? I think that somehow he's waited for you ever since the fire. And he would have just kept on waiting. So now you're here. He must have been very glad to see you.
He sure was. I don't think I've ever felt anything like that in my life.
Listen, I think I better tell you, you have a lot to live up to.
What do you mean?
Well, he's gone around telling everybody that you can play 3 games of chess at the same time, blindfolded.
Would I also win?
Of course, absolutely.
Look, Pat, are you going to be all right?
I'm certainly going to try. I have to tell you, I am going to marry Tony.
What about Brian? Does he have to know that Tony's his real father?
I think it's only fair that Tony share in that decision.
Okay.
Listen, do you think you could go call him and get him to come downstairs? Last I saw him, he was packing his bags to leave with you.
I wouldn't let him do that, you know.
I know. But at the time, he wasn't giving anybody any choice whatsoever.
Brian, could you come down here, please?
Dad, you're here. You're home. Mom, don't you even care that he's here?
Yes, of course I do, very much.
Well, you sure don't act like it.
Now, come on, Ryan. Now, let's take it one step at a time, okay?
Well, I got everything packed. Let's go.
I think your mother has something she wants to tell you.
Well, there's nothing really I want to hear.
Brian. Paul is going to stay here in Landview.
Are you really going to stay?
I couldn't leave you. Who's going to watch out for all those raccoons?
You promise?
I promise.
And, we'll work out our problems together.
Well, Dad and I don't have any problems.
Brian.
It's all right.
Mom, I don't really think you want us together. You're going to find out some way for Dad to leave or to get me and Tony back together. Well, it won't work. Because I'll run away every time you try it.
I would never do anything to hurt you.
Really? Then how come you didn't tell me that Dad was here? You know I've waited so long to see him. I'll never forgive you for that. Never. Fairview Health Club. Are there any messages for us? Okay, Mr. Butler. Right. Okay, thank you very much. Bye-bye. Did you sleep here last night?
What time is it?
9 o'clock.
I did what was left of the night.
Oh, Fred.
Do me a favor, Sam. Get lost.
Now, wait a minute. You can't go back to sleep. You've got to open up.
Yes, so.
There's the first exercise class at 9:30. I just called the answering service, and Mr. Butler's coming at 10. So let's go.
Who?
Mr. Butler, remember the guy that is going to talk to you, or wants to talk to you about the group membership in the bank? Okay, come on now. Get up. You've got to go to the bathroom and wash your face and comb your hair. I'll make some coffee.
Oh, don't let him in, Sam.
Don't let who in, Brad?
Any of them. Exercise class, the butler, anybody.
Why?
I don't feel seeing them.
What are you still going to tell these people?
Sam, I don't care. You can tell me whatever you want. Tell them the truth. I just can't stand another person coming in here telling me how sorry they are to hear about Mom. Brian, what are you doing here?
Well, I came to see you.
Aren't you supposed to be at day camp?
Well, I'd rather be with you.
Not cooking your breakfast at home anymore?
I overslept.
What are you reading?
Look, I'm pediatrics. I've been away from it for